City Council.
Good Tuesday morning, Jonesboro. This is meteorologist Tim Root with your KLEK 102.5 forecast. Mostly sunny skies. Temperatures will range from 65 to 72 this afternoon. Light northeast winds. Mostly clear overnight, about 40 to 45. You'll be around 60 Wednesday, partly to mostly sunny. Clouds will increase Wednesday night with a chance of showers late at night. And a pretty good chance of a few showers Thursday, partly to mostly cloudy in the mid-50s. Your life, your music, we're KLEK 102.5 FM.
From Feature Story News in London, I'm Catherine Drew. U.S. Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin has held talks with Saudi Arabia's Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman in Riyadh, despite growing concern over the Saudis' role in the murder of journalist Jamal Khashoggi. U.S. President Donald Trump has vowed to boost America's mid-range nuclear arsenal until, in his words, Russia and China come to their senses. And 29 Nobel laureates and other senior scientists are calling for a Brexit deal to avoid damaging UK and European research.
It's 9:01.
Community Conversations is brought to you by Arkansas Early Learning, offering no-cost childcare in Jonesboro and Northeast Arkansas. Applications at arearlylearning.org.
Arkansas Early Learning is a nonprofit organization.
KLEK LP Jonesboro, the voice of Arkansas Minority Advocacy Council. It's now time for Community Conversations, a program focusing on the people working to make the Jonesboro community a better place, while offering viewpoints from all sides of the issues. The views expressed in this program are those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect the views of KLEK 102.5 FM, the voice of Arkansas Minority Advocacy Council, or our underwriters or sponsors.
Good morning. You're tuned in to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM. Had a brain freeze right quick. Oh my goodness. I'm your host, Quabila Jones, and my special guest today for part one is Mr. Darrel Cook. Please excuse the misspelling of his name on the description. I will fix that after the show. Thank you for joining us today, Mr. Darrel.
Oh, thank you for inviting me. Pleasure to be here.
All right, Mr. Darrel is the candidate for Justice of the Peace for District 6. And so we're just going to get right into our discussion. But first, I would like for him to please give an introduction of himself and tell us why did you decide to run for this position?
Well, thank you. Well, my name's Darrel Cook, and as long as you just remember the Darrel Cook when you go to vote, I'd appreciate it. If you're in my district, District 6, I was born and raised in Jonesboro. Went into real estate when I was 28 years old. I've been self-employed for 30 years now. And the reason I decided to run is 3 years ago, I got involved in some city politics.
Okay.
And I was approached by some people to run for Justice of the Peace. And at the time, I had no idea what Justice of the Peace did. I wasn't aware because I wasn't involved in politics.
Okay.
And started going to the meetings. I've been going to the meetings now about 3 years. And I realized that the Quorum Court does have a good position for the county, a lot of responsibility. And I'd like for the public to start getting involved and actually come to these meetings, because these meetings are twice a month and they are open to the public.
Okay.
And that's why I got involved. I just wanted to see my county tax dollars, your tax dollars spent wisely.
Okay. All right, I'm glad you mentioned it. We'll get into that in a little bit. But I have to give the disclaimer that KLEK does not support or endorse any particular candidate. No compensation was given for this interview. This is strictly for informational purposes only. So we want to give every candidate the opportunity to come on and share their platform and what they're running for, and to hopefully make you, the listeners and viewers out there, more informed, so that when you go to the polls, you pick the person that best aligns with your ideals. We cannot tell you who to vote for, but we do encourage you to vote. Exercise your right to vote. All right, so now we're going to move on.
They can vote today because early voting started yesterday.
Yes, there are many places, and I will make sure to give you all the list of the voting places within Craighead County, so please stay tuned for that. We're going to get into our discussion and talk about the first item on the list, and you brought up taxes. And I don't think many people really understand how important of a role it is for you all to make the decision on where to allocate the funds, for various projects. Some people complain about, I don't see this getting done. Why is this not happening? Well, there's a process. You can't just say, okay, the road needs to be fixed on county road number whatever and just pour some money into it. There's a process. you all have to make a decision. Well, whoever's on the quorum court, they have to make a decision and weigh the pros and cons. So, kind of explain that process a little bit more.
Well, as far as the tax base, now, of course, each elected official, not JP elected official,
Okay.
but your county judge, your treasurer, your recorder, your sheriff's department, each county elected official who now has 4-year terms, they have a budget
Okay.
for what they need to spend money on. As far as the court recorder, sheriff's department, and then of course the county, let's call it the maintenance department. The roads, the buildings, and the upkeep. And you brought up a good point about a certain road. Someone will call and say, "I want this road fixed." But what the county has to do is they have to look at it and see how much traffic's on that road.
Okay.
Which road takes priority, and it all boils down to the amount of traffic, because naturally you've got to take care of where most of the traffic is, not necessarily where people live, but where the most of the traffic is.
Okay.
And appropriate the money that way.
Okay. All right. We have a question. I want to say good morning to everyone that is out there watching our Facebook live feed. Mr. T.R. Hamilton and Mr. Mark Pillow says, I don't know. It said, what's next? I think it meant what's next in drainage improvement on Nettleton. Does Nettleton fall within your district?
Nettleton's in my district, but the quorum court and the county judge can only do what lays in the county.
Okay.
They do not have any control over the drainage in the city limits.
Okay.
Now, I personally would like to see cooperation between the county and the city government on drainage. And that was one of my issues 2 years ago when I ran. And, Craig County is made up of more than just Jonesboro.
Mm-hmm.
We have several towns.
We have Bay, Bono, Brooklyn, Lake City,
Monette, Caraway,
oh wow,
Egypt, Cache, and I hope I ain't missing none of them.
Okay. Somebody don't. I'm gonna look it up while we're going on.
Cache and Egypt, Bay, Bono, Monette, and I'm gonna get shot if I leave somebody out, because I've got friends and past customers in every community in this county. But back to the drainage, I personally would like to see the county judge and the mayor of any city that is having a drainage issue work together. I know of some flooding that's happened in the city limits of Jonesboro that would have greatly been reduced if the county would have helped, where the ditches that went from the city limits into the county, they bottlenecked.
Oh.
And it caused flooding in a residential neighborhood. My question has always been, why hasn't the county helped? They have the equipment. But that's something I'll have to learn as I get in there to see how all the nuts and bolts work. I mean, you have to be in it to even though I have a good feel of what's going on, because I have made most of the meetings in 3 years, and they only meet twice a month.
Okay.
So it's been a learning process.
And this is where the residents of the county and the city as well need to, and I don't mean to say this in a mean way, need to step up and be more
vocal.
Yes, vocal, present, and proactive, and not reactive after the fact, after something has already happened and they're upset about the outcome. Let's be proactive and get involved from the ground up. That way we can hopefully, as the residents, see our needs and desires, our requests met in the best way possible. And Mr. Mark says grubs, and I saw black ochres also.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so we apologize to anybody we left out.
Yeah.
All right, so again, we would like for everyone to please take part in the quorum court meetings that are led by the county judge. The decisions made in those meetings affect everyone.
Everyone, because, a lot of times people think, well, I don't live in the county. Yes, you do.
Yeah.
You and I, even though we're sitting in the middle of Jonesboro right now on Franklin Street, we're in Craig County.
Yes, sir.
So just because you don't live outside of a city limit, you're still Craighead County. You need to get involved. You need to come to these meetings. If you have a concern of how your tax dollars are being spent, bring it up.
Okay. And let's go on to another issue that raised a lot of eyebrows and got a lot of attention. And again, maybe more people could have gotten involved in this, was when the first proposal of the mental health, I don't know the exact name, but it was going to be a mental health kind of facility. Right. And the first place that it was proposed to go was somewhere out off of 141, and the residents said, no, we don't want that out here. Well, some say yes, some say no. And so if people can band together, for what they don't want, why can't we use that same energy, for almost every issue?
That's a very good statement. I think the first location was going to be Southwest Drive.
Oh, okay.
And then it went out to 141, which the facility used to be a nursing home years ago.
Okay.
Now, I'm talking years ago because I'll be 59 next month, and I remember as a child.
Crisis unit. Okay.
But we do need that. We have some funds appropriated, but those funds are not to build the building. Those are just to more or less staff it.
Okay.
And I don't have all the details on that yet because we've not been given that in these meetings, because the public that comes to these meetings, and right now I'm just the public coming.
Okay.
I'm not privy to all the information.
Okay.
It's just what I can gather in that 60-minute meeting or that 20-minute meeting. But it is very needed. Not everyone needs to go to jail. And a lot of times we're putting people in jail that could be somewhere else.
Okay.
And you brought up a good point. People band together and stop these facilities. Why don't we band together and find a place to build the facility?
Yes, sir. Again, you tuned in to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM. We're speaking with Mr. Darrel Cook, the candidate for JP District 6. Now, again, can't tell you who to vote for, but we do encourage you to get out and vote. Get to know all of the candidates who are running and make an informed decision when you go to the polls. Early voting started yesterday. Let's get out and flood those polls and vote for the person you best feel will represent you and where you live and your ideals. So, all right, and so now we know that the new center could possibly go out near the county jail, and I would love to get Sheriff Boyd in here. I know he's so busy all the time, but I would love to have a sit down, talk with him so that, again, the community can get to know what's really happening, But again, we want everyone to start going to these quorum court meetings so they can be on top of what's being discussed and what decisions are being made.
And if they don't have time to come to the court meetings, call their JP. And if they don't know who their JP is, just call any of them they may know.
Okay.
Because Justice's Peace, we're only ones that can vote for us are the ones that live in our district.
Okay.
Unlike the city council is a citywide vote.
Okay.
You can vote for every one of them. But the JPs, the quorum court members, only the people that vote, that live in our district, can vote for us.
Okay.
Like yesterday, I voted for several city council people.
Okay.
And I only voted for one JP in my district. Of course, I
Okay.
voted for me, so I know I got one vote. I know I got one vote. But you're right. People need to vote. They need to come to these meetings. If they don't have time to come to meetings, the meeting starts at 5:30.
Okay.
Second and fourth Friday. Second and fourth Monday at the judge's office. But call. If I'm elected, they can call. My number is easy to find. All they got to do is Google Darrel Cook Real Estate, and they got my number. And I'll take their question in front of the quorum court. And it, really any question they have. Because I can't say, oh no, we can't help with that. I don't know till I ask.
And now for those who may be disabled or cannot get out of their home, I've noticed the meetings have been videoed. I want to say they're live.
Yes.
If I'm not mistaken. And so I'm not sure if it's on the Mr. Kate Holiday, the Craighead County Clerk's page, or is there a Facebook page or a website where these videos can be found?
Cade's page is the one I watch it on.
Okay. And so if you can't get out for whatever reason, weather's bad, you're disabled, please at least watch the video and provide some feedback. We want to make sure that the people that we elect for these positions are doing the job we elected them for, but they need our support as well. So don't just elect somebody and then never interact with them. Interact with your representatives, and hopefully, you will see the improvements you want to see in your neighborhood, in your district, I should say.
Right.
All right. So, Okay, Mr. Mark Pillow says stock Bono Lake with large mouth. With large mouth. Large mouth. I guess bass.
Yeah, if we do that, I'll catch them all out. I know, Mark. I'm waiting. But Mark, it's got some 7-pound plus bass in it now. You just got to know how to catch them.
All right.
And I've saw pictures of 42-pound flatheads come out there.
Oh my, that's hard.
Now I'm lying.
Okay.
or should I say I'm teasing?
Okay. Telling fish tales in the morning. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Well, since he brought up Bono Lake, I know that had been an issue in years past about, I guess, the renovation, upkeep, or just there were some issues with flooding or drainage. There were some issues with Bono Lake, and so that decision also does it fall within the justice of the peace?
Yes, the Bono Lake, of course, that was before, in fact, that was before our present county judge's office.
Okay.
Bono Lake is a very good example of why I'd like to build a quorum court. Bono Lake serves a great watershed project,
Okay.
and it helps the town of Bono. It does not eliminate their flooding.
Okay.
It helps the town of Bono. Bono Lake should have, in my opinion, should have never been sold to the citizens of Craighead County as a recreational lake. Big Creek Watershed Project, which has 30 plus watershed lakes in Craighead County, has done a great service. They were started back in the early 60s. Bono Lake was fed to the citizens of Craighead County. There was a tax that was raised.
Okay.
The money was misspent, mishandled. Now that is all been swept under the rug, so this new administration really doesn't have anything to do with it.
Okay.
But they before any more money is spent, it needs to be accounted for.
Okay. All right. This is how, again, the citizens of Craighead County can keep everyone accountable. I guess just accountable. Hold everyone accountable. Help them stay on top of what's going on. Get to know how your money is being spent. You're paying these city, county taxes and other taxes that I'm not going to even try to name off because I'm sorry I don't know them all. The sales tax and income tax and whatever else. Get to know how your money is spent, within your county, and have your say so. If you see a project on the agenda, you see something coming up, you have the right to speak up about it. From what I've been told, the agendas and media announcements are in the local newspaper.
Yes, it will be a brief description of the agenda in the paper, usually the day before the meeting.
So either get a subscription to the local paper or online version, or find someone who gets the paper. Find somewhere to stay on top of what's happening. We put a lot of energy into the city council. That's important, yes. However, the quorum court county judge positions, those are very important as well.
Absolutely.
Because you all help also the other agencies that serve the county. Let's look at Sheriff's Department and the jailers. Let's look at the volunteer firefighters that are located within the county, around the county. They need equipment. They need certain supplies. You all have to make sure they are supplied, they are stocked with those things. So again, that's your tax dollars at work.
That's true. And our volunteer fire department is very essential to our county because we have good insurance rates based on our good response time for our volunteer fire departments. Everybody, they always mention Jonesboro. Well, Jonesboro has got wonderful insurance rates due to the fact I don't think anyone's over 5 minutes away from a fire department. Our county volunteer fire department, those men and women need our support. And when I say our, I do not mean the quorum court. I mean the quorum court and the citizens.
Amen. All right, so we're going to wind down, and I want to say thank you to Mr. Mark Pillow for watching and sharing this video. We want everyone to please give their feedback. I know most people are probably at work that you may know, but I'm sure they'll chime in a little bit later. And again, I can't tell you who to vote for, but early voting started yesterday, and I want to give you those locations. You can go to Jonesboro Election Annex, which is on Jefferson, here in the city, Jonesboro, Lake City Courthouse, Brooklyn City Hall, Bono City Hall, and Bay Community Center. polls are open from 8 to 6 Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Saturday, so you have plenty of time to get to those polling centers. Now, I know with the general election in November, you can go to any polling site. Does the same apply to early voting as well?
No. Well, now early voting, you can go to any of those locations you just named off.
Okay.
You and I could go to Lake City today, or Bono or Bay or Brooklyn. Now, on election day, which is 2 weeks from today, unlike in the past where you voted at your precinct, you can vote at any voting location.
All right. So again, no excuse not to get to the polls. I want to also let you know that Jet is offering free rides to the poll on their buses. So I guess if you get on the bus and you tell them you're going to a polling center, they'll give you a free ride. And Uber, and not to advertise for them, but Lord, please forgive me, they're offering free rides. You will make sure that everyone knows they can get to the poll if they need to get to the poll. If there's any other community organization or churches out there that are giving free rides, please let us know. So, in the last minute, I would like to let Mr. Darrel Cook have his time to, state your case of why people should vote for you.
And this sounds like every other politician, is people that know me, they know my character, and they know that I don't cut corners. Okay. I say what's on my mind, and people who truly know me know how honest I am. And I hate using the word honest in a political deal, because they all claim to be honest. Yeah. I'm not your typical politician, just like I've not been your typical realtor for 30 years. God has overly blessed me.
Okay.
I have the time to give back to the community because I work and I fish and I try to give back. And I fish a lot.
Okay.
Thank you for listening to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM, a program focusing on the people working to make the Jonesboro community a better place while offering viewpoints from all sides of the issues. The views expressed in this program are those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect the views of KLEK 102.5 FM, the voice of Arkansas Minority Advocacy Council.